Hey Magic friends, welcome back. That's right, we're in the Double Masters 2022 Mo Money edition because they just keep printing more money. Uh, this is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG, and today, when you thought they showed you everything worth cash, boy, are you mistaken. So, in today's edition, we're going to look at the printer machine go burr for dollar bills as these bad boys are just putting the cash into the product left and right and telling you that this extra money they're charging you is worth every penny. So, with that said, there's a lot to go over today. We're a little over like 204 cards deep, I think, into spoiler season. Still have 100 cards to go. So shilling at the end, the only thing that I ask is that you subscribe as I try to get to 1,000 subscribers. And with that said, let's dive into the Mo Money Edition. Trade tables and seat backs to full upright position because we're about to shake you for change. So we're starting off with Legion's Initiative, red-white, reprint from, I believe, Ravnicus. Red creatures you control get +1, white creatures get +0/+1. You can exile all creatures you control at the beginning of your next combat. Return those creatures to the battlefield and those under control. They gain haste till end turn. Not the greatest, probably definitely a dollar bin rare. However, you can't have it all, can you? Because next we got, that's right, Aetherville. 40 spot. Right in a bad boy on a rare slot. So Aetherville back again. The art's beautiful. And for these you don't know, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a charge counter on it. You can tap, and for every counter that's on it, you can put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield that has a casting cost equal to the charge counters. This thing is a powerhouse in Modern, not to mention a little bit in Legacy. And it's a 40 spot. So, and this new art and everything is going to be even better. This is just going to be delicious. And it's at rare, boys. So, moving on next to the Mo Money edition. What we got going on? That's right, we got Big Worm. The Impervious Great Worm. The Ravnica Biobox edition, I believe. Spoiler, or Biobox card. So for 3 green and 7, it's a 16/16 with Convoke and Indestructible. If you draft this thing and you're playing a bunch of little weenie guys, this is going to get ugly quick. So, not the most expensive card in the world, but it's going to be fun in draft. And as it being indestructible, probably a little cool in Commander. All right, next we have Civic Saber. Wah, wah. Anyway, gotta have some uncommons every now and then. One colorless, equip creature gets +1/+0 for each of its colors, equips for one. Considering this is a rainbow set, this thing is going to be insane in draft because for one delay and then one to equip, you're going to give something +5/+0. It's just going to be ridiculous. Moving on. Next we have Laughlin Troll. Green and black, 2/1, trample, discard a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on it. For 1 black, you can regenerate it. I forget what this is from, but I want to say Ravnica again. Anyway, moving on. Good draft card. Next we have Grim Flare. So green, black, 2/2 with trample. Whenever you deal combat damage to the top 3 cards of the library, put any of them into the graveyard, the rest of them back on top of any order. It has Delirium. It gets +2/+2 as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. This was a powerhouse in Modern for a while, powered up as a friend to Tarmogoyf because they kind of fed off each other with the graveyard synergies. Plus the ability to stack top your deck was pretty sweet as well. Hasn't seen a lot of play here lately, but in draft, this is going to be a powerhouse. Next we have Pull from Tomorrow. Not a very popular card, but for me, 2 blue and X to draw cards is always sweet. You have to discard one, but you put 5 mana into it, you get to draw 3, discard 1, so it's almost good enough. But if you're playing Commander and you pop this bad boy off for like 6, whoa. So, and in draft, it could be a game winner. Mind Rack Leech, hybrid one again, a red-blue one. 3 red-blue hybrid and 3, so 6 mana for 4/4, where other blue creatures get +1/+1, other red creatures get +1/+1. And for 4 mana of blue and or red, you may put a blue or red creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Like, that's something that we need. Yeah, let's just say there's some big red and blue things that's going to get on the battlefield for 4 mana. In draft, this is going to be disgusting. But honestly, it's about as far as it's going to go because it casts for 6. And if you've already got 6 mana out and you can't just play what's in your hand, you're probably doing something wrong. But anyway, moving on. Next we have Teriel, Reckoner of Soul. So black, white, red, and 4. 7 mana for a 4/7 flying with vigilance, and you can tap it, choose target creature card at random from your target opponent's graveyard, put that card on a battlefield under your control. This is disgusting in draft and in commander. I don't think it's worth a whole lot. I could be wrong, but it's probably easily a $2-3 rare card. Not too shabby. That's right, everybody. They reprinted Mana Drain again. So this powerhouse mythic, obviously for 2 blue, counters target spell in your next main step, or your next main phase. You get amount of mana of colorless equal to that spell's casting cost that you counter. Commander powerhouse, legacy powerhouse. Um, yeah, this thing is chef's kiss. Although I really wish they quit printing it so much. But anyway, to be honest though, every time they've printed this card, even in Commander Legends, it's been so hard to get that it really hasn't even affected the price hardly. So, hey, I'm all looking forward to speeding this set. Next we have Imperial Archangel, blue, 2 white, green, and 4. So for a mere 8 mana, you can get a 5/8 flying with Shroud, which means it can't be targeted spells or abilities from anybody. And all damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to the angel instead. So, yeah, not too shabby. Probably dollar rare. A couple of commander guys probably want it. I don't think it's worth a whole lot, but hey, kind of cool. Next we have Arcanist Spinner. So for a green 5, you get a 5/7 reach uncommon. Tap the Spinner. Tap an untapped spider you control. Search your graveyard and or library for a card named Arcanist Web and put it on the battlefield attached to target creature. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Nothing special here, so we'll move on. Oh yeah, here's the web. So for green and 2, target creature can't attack or block, and activated abilities can't be done at the beginning of each end step. If enchanted creature's power is 4 or greater, you destroy the web. Good common, good draft. So be it. Darksteel Plate's back, so this unfortunately is going to be in there. 3 mana for indestructible piece of equipment. That the equipped creature is indestructible as well. So, I mean, it's not going to be a good pull unless you're drafting, because then nothing can happen to your dude. So, like, you get this in draft and you slap it on a creature, you're probably going to win, especially if you have some really busted creatures in your deck. Look at this Force of Negation reprint into the main set. 2 blue and 1. It's an instant. If it's not your turn, you can exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. Counter target non-creature spell. If it's countered this way, you can exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. This is a $100 card again. And at rare, this thing's going to easily be 50. And I say 50 with skepticism because this is going to be higher than 50. But this is a great rare to put in and a great card that you'll be able to pull for some money. Wow. Next we have good old Ashen Ryder. 2 black, 2 white, and 4 for a 5/5. When it enters the battlefield or dies, you get to exile a target permanent. Fine for draft or some way to cheat it in. Not a real big powerhouse, but it's a thing. Next, we have Nemesis Smuggler. Blue for a 1/1 for a blue 3 and tap it, exile another target creature you control. Then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So it's just a 4 mana blink spell. Probably something the commander guys out there will enjoy. Surgical Extraction reprint. Yeah, baby. So if you don't know, that's a Phyrexian mana symbol. Means you can pay a black 2 life, a black or 2 life, and then choose a target card in the graveyard that's not a basic land. Search the opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card. You can exile them. This is a great powerhouse, easily $10, $15 card. Nice to see this thing get reprinted. Next, we have Nem Death Metal. So for 2 colorless, you can lay it, and the equipped creature gets +2/+2, has Intimidate, and is a black zombie. Interesting. Whenever a non-token creature is put in your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 4 colorless. If you do, return that card to the battlefield and attach Nem Death Mantle to it. That's disgusting. Going to be great for draft, and maybe some of your commander players out there might like this little trick. That way you can, snatch stuff out of your graveyard, put it back into play, and turn it into a black zombie. Give it +2/+2, intimidate, and make somebody kill it again. Almost like anti-removal. Anyway, Discipline or Disciple of the Ring. 2 blue and 3 for a 3/4. For 1 colorless, you can exile an instant sorcery card from your graveyard to choose one. Counter target non-creature spell unless your controller pays 2. The ring guy gets +1/+1 to end a turn. Tap a creature, untap a creature. Interesting rare. Probably won't see a whole lot of play in anything but draft. But still, for 5 mana, there's got to be more powerhouse things you can do in this set. So, moving on. Mist Meadow Witch. White or blue and 1 for a 1/1. For 2 white and blue, you can exile target creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next instep. The sweet thing about this is if someone attacks you, you can literally blink their creature out, and now it's not attacking you. Not only can you do it to their creature, but you can also use it to your creature, so you can get those sweet into the battlefield triggers and prevent people from killing your stuff. So, Wall of Omens reprint, why wouldn't you? Because it's a white 1 for an 0/4 defender that lets you draw a card. So, yeah, this boy's old school, and he deserves to be in here because he got game. All right, Psychic Sembent. Black, blue, 4 for a 3/3 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card, and you draw a card. It's awful, but it is uncommon. But it might be something playable in draft, so yeah, why not? Devoted Druid reprint. For this combo-centric card, you get a green and a colorless for an 0/2 that you can tap for 1 green. Put a -1/-1 counter on the Druid to untap it. This is combo in many counter decks that let you put counters on things so that the Druid never dies and you make infinite mana, so forth and so on. Good reprint. I don't know if it was necessary or not. But hey, it's not like it's $5 or nothing. Forbidden Orchard. So this is an interesting choice of a land reprint, only because Forbidden Orchard is not all that great, but it does let you tap for 1 mana of any color, and when you do tap it for mana, you have a target opponent make a 1/1 color spirit token. So very interesting. It's going to be real weird in draft, but it's honestly a great card for commanders because it's a mana of any color. Yeah, your opponent gets a 1/1 colorless creature, but if you're tapping this for mana, you better be doing something that 1/1 doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Next, we've already seen it. It's Emrakul, the Eon's Turn. This is torn. This is a beautiful picture. You know it's already in here if you've watched my spoilers because it came out early, so we're just going to skip it. Restoria, Necronian Queen, whatever that means. I probably butchered that name. Anyway, green, red, and black, and 2 for a 5/4 flying trample. It's got flample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. If that player can't, you create a 3/3 black, red, and green cat dragon creature token with flying. Because everybody needs a cat dragon. It's a good commander. Glad I got reprinted. Next, we have Thraximondar, if that's how you say that. Zombie assassin. Black, red, blue, and 4 for a 6/6 with haste. When he attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature. Whenever a player sacrifices a creature, you may put a +1/+1 counter on him. So for 7 mana, if you get to swing with him, he's a 7/7, and your opponent has to kill something. Seems like a pretty sweet commander as well, or part of a 99. Although I don't think it's worth a lot of money. He's probably going to be $1 rare, but it's pretty sweet looking. All right, Anamar, Soul of the Elements, a mythic. So red, blue, and green for a 1/1 protection from white and black because it's the only colors it's not, obviously. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on him. This seems like a great commander card for me. Yeah, this thing's got to be worth at least $5, right? Yeah, we'll go with $5. Terminate. Because we needed some removal because all these cards are OP, especially for draft. But anyway, Terminate's the best removal card that's ever been printed probably. It's a red and a black. Destroy target creature, can't be regenerated. The only card probably better than this is probably Hero's Downfalls. It will kill anything. Moving on, we have the Greater Gargadon reprint. So for a red and 9, you get a 9/7. Or you can suspend it for 1 red, and you can sacrifice an artifact, creature, or land to remove time counters from it, so that it can come out as a 9/7 and punch people in the face. However, without trample, it makes it kind of dumb if you have blockers. So, But it is part of a several combo deck, so not the horrible thing in the world. Next, we have Surreal Memoir. Red and 3 sorcery. Return instant card at random from your graveyard to your hand. And it has rebound. So if you cast a spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. Okay, so basically, you get to cast it twice and get 2 random instants. Although it's an uncommon, it's going to be okay. Figure of Destiny. This powerhouse is something that's really interesting to see reprinted. This used to be real big back in the day of Morning Tide. For red or a white, you get a 1/1, and then you start pumping mana into it. It becomes a 2/2 knight. Then it becomes a 4/4 spirit warrior, and then it becomes a Kithkin warrior spirit avatar with base power 8/8 flying and first strike. So yeah, this thing took over standard very much so, and in draft it's gonna be a real powerhouse. So interesting reprint, not worth a whole lot though. Bedlam Reveler, 2 red and 6, 3/4. The spell costs 1 less for each instant sorcery in your graveyard. Has prowess. When it enters the battlefield, you discard your hand and draw 3 cards. It's going to be great for draft in the late game. It shined a little bit in standard and modern when it first came out, but since has been phased out just because it's too unreliable. Bulk rare. Labyrinth Champion from Theros, red and 3 for a 2/2. Has heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets the champion, it deals 2 damage to any target, which includes your opponent. So pretty sweet for draft, but honestly, I don't think it's not seeing any play past that. Just saying. Next, we have Conquerors Flail. So for 2 colorless, you get this gem. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. What? As long as the Conqueror's Flail is attached to a creature, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Sweet mother of God. So this is busted on 5 ways to Friday. Still only playable in draft, although a couple commander guys might be running this just to kind of shut down their opponents on their turn so they can actually play spells without them being countered. Or things that can kill on instep, but interesting card, not worth a whole lot, but still playable. Rafiq of the Many. I'm sorry, Rafiq. Blue, white, green, and 1 for a 3/3. Has Exalted, which is whenever a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it also gains double strike because of this card. This just saw a reprint on the list with alternate art. Was going about $15, so I think it's probably going to come in around 5 to 7. But still a great card, especially for draft, and it's going to hold some value still. Hydroid Krasis, blue, green, and X. When you cast it, X is half. You gain half of X life and draw X cards all rounded down. So if you cast this for 6, you get to gain 2 life, draw 2 cards. It has flying trample, and it enters with that many +1/+1 counters. So this was a powerhouse in standard when it was in Ravnica, just because of the ability to play this thing for like 6, and make a 4/4 flyer with flying and trample, and then gaining 2 life and drawing 2 cards. It was disgusting. It still sees a little bit of play, and Commander guys love this thing because in Commander, you do nothing but make mana. And you cast this one time and it hits the battlefield. Ooh, boy. Also, notice it says when you cast it. So you can cast it, and if they don't counter it, now you have a giant dude, and you draw lots of cards and gain lots of life. If they counter it, you still gain lots of life and draw lots of cards. You just don't have a dude. So that was one of the reasons that made this card really busted. Next, we have the Planar Bridge. Great reprint. I think it's around $10 or so, but nothing like this good old artifact that you can lay for 6, then tap 8 into it and search your library for a permanent and put it on the battlefield. Anything in your deck. It's so busted. Commander guys love it, and it's got a real good following in Commander. It's probably going to be easily a $5 to $10 reprint, especially at rare. It's going to be pretty sweet. Next, we have Corridor Ghost Chieftain. So this was a Commander card. This is the first time it's getting a reprint. It's kind of popular. It's a green, blue, white, and 5 Centaur Spirit. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard, and once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard. This thing is disgusting and large. It's only a 3/4, but the thing about casting stuff out of your graveyard, plus it getting cheaper as more stuff goes in, I mean, it's hard to make this a bad card when you kill it because it's your commander if you have so many creatures in your graveyard that the commander penalty doesn't apply. And that's why commander players like it. So there's that. Moving on. Next we have Dauntless Escort. White, green, and 1 for a 3/3. Rhino Soldier. Sacrifice Dauntless Escort. Creatures you control get indestructible end of turn. Decent rare with a decent casting cost. I think it's past its heyday. Probably going to be a bulk rare, unfortunately. Good in draft, though. Next, Villainous Wealth. This thing never really caught on, But I'm going to tell you what, in draft, this card just is bonkers. I've cast it before and it's disgusting. So for a blue, green, black, and then X, target opponent exiles top X cards in their library. You may cast any number of spells with a mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. And if you can't just cast the stuff and kill them with their stuff, you can play it for enough that they just mill out because magic. So watch out for this thing in draft, for the love of God. Next we have Drog Skull Reaver. So this is a blue-white M5 spirit, has flying, double strike, and lifelink, and whenever you gain life, you get to draw a card. So basically, this is going to punch you for 6. Since it's going to hit you for 6, that means it's hitting you twice, which means you're going to not only gain 6 life, but draw a card twice, because you're getting life 6. You're gaining life twice. This has become very popular in spirit decks for some reason. So yeah, this was actually a needed reprint, because it actually got pretty expensive, up in the $25, $30 range at one point. This being in this set is probably going to take it back down to a normal $5 range, but still a good reprint. Next we have Cold Steel Heart from Cold Snap. So for 2 colorless, it enters the battlefield tap, and when it enters the battlefield, you choose a color. You get to tap it to add 1 mana of any color. This is a great rock for commander players. It's going to be great in draft for mana fixing. As far as it's going to go, but it does have a lot of play for an uncommon, and it's a snow artifact. So it does make snow mana technically, I think. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Next we have Aurelia the War Leader. So this hot monster was only in, I believe, a commander deck or a theme deck of some kind. So this is a very well needed reprint into an actual set where you can pull it out of a pack. 2 white, 2 red, and 2 for a 3/4. Flying, vigilance, and haste, because why not? And then when it attacks the first time each turn, untap all your creatures you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So yeah, for 6 mana, not only do you get to punch them for 3, you get to punch them again with everybody else in your battlefield. So this is a sweet card. A much needed reprint, and probably going to easily be a $5 or $10 mythic at least. Next we have Guided Passage. So this is an old reprint from, I think, Plane Chase. Red, blue, and green. Reveal the cards in your library. An opponent chooses from among them a creature card, a land card, and a non-creature, non-land card. You put the chosen cards in your hand, then shuffle. Alright, so hang on a second. Reveal the cards in your library. An opponent chooses from among them a creature card, a land card, and a non-creature, non-land card. You put the chosen cards into your hand, then shuffle. So for 3 mana, you get to draw 5 cards. This is disgusting. Well, hang on a second. Among them, a creature card, a land card, and... Okay, so you draw 3 cards. My bad. 3 mana, draw 3. Whoopsie. Still going to be great in draft. Most commander players probably should be playing this, to be honest with you. But it does look like a bulk rare. Next, we have Elendia the Dusk Rose reprint. Been needing this for a while. She's been getting up there. She's around $30, I think, now. White, black, and 2 for a 1/1 with lifelink. Whenever that creature dies, put +1/+1 on Elendia. And when she dies, you create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is her power. So that's pretty sweet. This was a very popular commander when they changed how the commander rules work for sacrificing commanders and creatures and damage and so forth, which really drove her price up. So it's a much needed reprint, to be honest with you. And it looks like we get to end on Elendia of the Dusk Rose. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. As I mentioned in the beginning of the series, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so please subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bar. Comments down below is going to feed that YouTube algorithm to help me get more views for the channel, and I would appreciate your support. And as always, if you've done everything you can, but you still want to help out, you can buy cards at the eBay store, link in the description. Become a subscriber on the Patreon, also linked in the description. With the Patreon, you get all kinds of good swag and other things and good box discounts. I'll run specials on boxes. And there's also an email if you just want to reach out, say hi, or mention something you want me to talk about. I'll be more than happy to. So, as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching. And as more juice comes out, we just got to keep waiting and see what we get, because it looks like Modern Masters is going to be a home run. I mean, I don't know how much more they can squeeze into it, but they're going to keep squeezing. So until next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.